hello, and welcome along to episode... We don't have any faces.
Uh-oh.
Why don't we have any faces? Hello? Ah, there we are. Hello, welcome along to episode 4 of The Dragon Keepers. Today's episode is The Head of the Snake. When we last left off, well, I'm going to do a timer here. What was happening? I'd like to see it from the players' perspectives. Would anybody like to tell us the varying things that were occurring?
Drama.
People were sleeping around.
Okay.
Yeah, we had some classic slut shaming.
Oh,
Kalia is so loud right now, bless her.
so cute.
Oh, dear.
Ginger, you start purring now too.
The green scaly woman.
The green scaly one? Anyone want to give her a name, or are we just sticking with the green scaly?
Jerd.
Yeah, she was scaling around, and people were like, and then also Natani was hit on, and she was like, not on my watch. I'm here for the dragons, not for the dick.
Charming.
And,
That's definitely exactly how Natani put it, by the way. So
yeah.
Yep.
And then, but regardless, the guy was like, "You'd be a good leader whether or not you're in my bed." And Natani was like, "Yeah, I know."
I'm living for this recap.
and then Patrick and Scaly Lady,
Gerd.
Jerd, there she is. Jerd and Patrick had a bit of a falling out. She was a bit mean to him, and he was like, "Really? Should someone with so many skills be so mean?" And that was a bit below the belt. So, yeah, and then we kind of all got a bit of a telling off, and then Patrick and Twiggy not really stormed off, but for lack of a better word, stormed off.
Oh no, Twiggy did storm off. She punched trees and everything.
Yeah, she
I
punched
stormed
trees.
off.
She punched trees while Patrick cried in the bosom of his dragon. And then his dragon was like, I'm not good with the crying. Can you go get me some food? So Patrick's like, come on, Twiggy. We need to go fish.
Yes.
And so he did. And then, yeah, it basically came out that actually, if you didn't know, not only is this a suicide mission, kind of, but also we're not going back. We're going to be starting our own civilization where anyone can breed with whoever they want to breed, scale or no scale.
Yeah, it was kind of discussed.
That was kind
in
of
the cast.
really.
It was discussed in the
That
last
was
couple of
kind of
episodes. Yeah, I'll give you that. Did anybody discover anything exciting about a dragon?
A name? Did someone
We got some
another
names.
name?
I think I'm going to fill in a couple of gaps that you might not have had just while we go. So, current names of dragons. We have Kalo, who is the big black dragon, claimed by Greft. We have Arbuck, the beautiful light blue, partner to Alum. We have Fent, or Fente, claimed by Tats. I still don't know how to say that really. We have Melkor, who is partner to Sylv. Another one that you didn't previously know, this is Veras. And I will put female here. I'll bugger and then I click cancel.
Oh yeah.
This is Veras. She is Jerd's dragon. And then the other ones that you might not have had were Dortian. But I think that was announced when you guys were arguing in whispers.
Announced in our whisper argument at night.
Case got really angry and went, "My dragon name's Dortian!" Well, his brother didn't tell you, so Boxter's dragon is called Scrim.
Hey.
And finally there is Hebe, who is Rapscal's dragon. So the only dragons whose names you are missing are Tamara's and the two unclaimed and Lucio. No one knows if those two little dragons know what they are, let alone what they're called. Yeah. But that, yeah, it was a pretty accurate telling. And one thing that you did leave out is that Cedric Meldar, the very posh and well-to-do young gentleman who has been sort of brought along as Alice's guardian, watcher, friend, something. Nobody's really delved into that relationship yet, but he sort of very awkwardly came into the camp and was like, hi guys. Judd's going in Greft's boat, so you guys have to sort that out. And what was decided was that Natani would travel with Tats, as Rapscal would go with Tamara, and don't make me regret it, Twiggy and Patrick will travel in a boat, just the two of them.
We're flying solo.
I think that's flying duo, but, well, you know, we'll see.
We don't need supervision.
Yeah. Yeah. Just supernatural strength. So we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, we will join up at about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's fair to say this is probably the 4th day, I think. Maybe the 5th, but the 5th day probably. 4th, 5th day? 4th day? 4th day. So that includes the day that you spent sort of just before you... So we began on the day where you guys got your weapons and like got on the boat but didn't meet your dragons, right? And then you met your dragons, then we travelled upriver, and then there was the day of the boar, and now there is, there is the next day. You'll be pleased to know, owner of Ranculos, that there is lots of water today. The water is deep.
Oh, fantastic! So it's going to struggle.
Yeah, it's not gonna be an easy one, really.
Oh yeah, didn't we get in a fight and Ranculus almost died last time?
Oh yeah, that sort of happened too. It was a boar.
Did he get into a second fight, or was it just his first one?
No, he came into a fight, he got crit and went down. That was it. Like, that was the whole thing. Like, he was there and then he wasn't. Yeah,
he had a rough
kind
time.
of funny.
It was
it
kind of...
happened to him again, he got crit again.
Oh, yeah, but like, no. I don't think you understand. Like, the fight began, he was like, Ranculos, wee, I'm fighting, punting, got crit, down. Like, there was no delay, it was just gone. Yeah.
So he's really been crit twice out of twice. Wow, amazing.
Yeah, pretty much. But anyway,
He's a crit magnet, exactly.
What is important to know is that you
keep this little dirtling alive.
You guys sort of gathered your dragons here, if you like, this area here. Oh, hold on a second, let's do this. Kiakone, thank you very much for the follow, by the way. Yeah, and then you made your way downriver, and this is where you made camp last night, this area here. Nice. And we're entering what seems to be a deep part of the river. Oh, not quite, sorry. We are here. We're entering what seems to be a deep part of the river, and it sort of opens up a bit. It gets a bit wider, a bit more difficult to path. And each of you will grab your boats in the morning. There is a fresh early breakfast for the keepers of freshly fried fish.
Very nice.
Most of the dragons are going to have to wade. The water is quite deep, so some of them might try and go through the marshland or bogland. These swamps are very difficult to pass through. For anybody who decides to have a little gander at what the swamps look like, you'll be looking a little bit like this. So tough going. Really difficult to pass through ground. Sort of very thick bracken undergrowth. And even the trees seem suffocated and clogged. By the sort of growth and undergrowth going up them. Natani, sort of 5-10 minutes after breakfast, Tats sort of comes over to you and I got the boat ready. I moved my stuff to yours if that's okay. Tamara moved into Rapscal's boat. I'm sorry, this was kind of all thrust on you, really, wasn't it?
Makes no difference to me. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just get to know everybody.
Yeah. It would be good if we could do we could make some swift progress. Patrick and Twiggy are great fun, but I noticed you're pretty competent with yours, and they're different.
You're saying they weren't completely efficient?
No, they were, well, I'm sure that sometimes they were helping and sometimes they weren't.
I almost want to leave last so we can watch them spinning in circles.
We can, yeah, we could I got the fishing rod that I was showing Carson yesterday. I thought maybe, if you don't mind, during the first shift, if you're rowing as well as you were yesterday, I might be able to catch us some lunch and maybe some food for Fent and for your dragon. Have I forgotten their name, or did you not
I've
tell
been calling
everyone?
him Lucio.
Lucio. That's nice. I like that.
It means bringer of light.
Oh, well. I didn't ask what Fent meant. Should I have asked?
Well, I've made mine up, so...
Oh. I think my dragon made hers up too.
All names are made up, really?
They're meant to remember them or something, aren't they? That's what Melkor said, but... I don't know. When I asked Fent about it, she spat at me. She can be quite vicious. Oh, people are getting on the boats already. Shall we?
Let's.
Okay. And as she's sort of, as Tats is sort of moving over, those of you who didn't have to move your stuff could have gone to the boats as soon as breakfast was over. So just to clarify, we've got Alum and Emil. We've got Sylv and Arya. We've got Patrick and Twiggy. And we've got Natalia with Tats. Two people you will see who seem to have got things sorted out pretty quickly are Tamara and Rapscal. Rapscal's sort of, oh, this is going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to a new boat partner. This is going to be great. Come on, let's go. And sort of already is like in rowing the oars. Like Tamara's just still trying to move her stuff into the boat. The boat is taking off the side. Oh, sorry, I'm waiting for you. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. Let's go. You'll also see that Greft and Jerd have made swift progress out. Jerd is sort of laid back with her arms against the sort of edge of the boat. She seems quite relaxed. But Twiggy, you will notice as the two of you pass close to their boat, trying to get to yours, that she looks tired, a bit drawn. It's difficult because where they have scaled faces, crying can be very, very painful. So it tends not to be something that, especially the more scaled Rain Wilders do. But her eyes definitely seem red-rimmed, as if she has been through that pain recently. Whether that's from last night or this morning, you're not too sure.
Twiggy notices this, but is not going to say anything because she's still mad at her for disrespecting Patrick.
Yeah, I love that. So you and Patrick, you get into the boat. Are we taking acrobatic entrances or just like...
Well, now that you mention it, yes.
We're just getting in today.
Why not?
Okay, give me your acrobatics check. Let's see how it goes.
Wow. 21.
21, yeah? What does it look like? What are you doing? Some sort of...
This time I'm doing a backflip.
That's great!
Yeah, off of like a little tree stump, which makes it a little bit higher for me.
Sylv sort of pokes her tongue out at you and show off. And then looks to everybody sort of for a moment, just turn their heads to Patrick to see what's going to happen.
What is Patrick gonna do?
Patrick like looks to everyone and is like, and then turns around and is like,
Oh,
and then
God.
puts his back to the boat to do his backflip.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, we're going for backflip.
prepare
Can I have a
reactions to save him?
performance check, please?
Performance.
Yeah. Well, you have no acrobatic natural affinity, so we're going to see how well you can replicate Twiggy's masterpiece.
That was a 19.
Fantastic.
Wow.
+4
yeah.
to performance.
So you take a wild leap into the air. You don't go head over heels at all. There is no somersault involved. But you go sort of slightly over Twiggy's seat and just land sat on the seat. It almost looked like you intended it.
All was calculated.
And what's best is you still managed to keep hold of a little bit of fish you're still eating.
Wow.
So it was smooth, if nothing else. And you just, Arya, you'll just hear Sylv kind of, he made it. We can, you ready to set off?
Yeah,
I'm pretty ready.
Let's get out their way. And with that, she sort of gives a little shove off of Patrick and Twiggy's boat. You notice that now there's this small gulf where, like, everybody's in a sort of oval shape of boats, making a small oval area around Patrick and Twiggy.
Okay. It's about time we get some respect around here.
Yeah, everybody's giving you some
Giving
space.
us a wide berth.
And Alum and Emil. Alum's got the oars right now, but he's actually waiting. He sort of looks at you and just in case they need help, right?
Nice.
Yeah, last time we watched them, they weren't the best at keeping everything under control, and they certainly weren't the fastest. Keeping an eye on them sounds like a good idea. But there's others I have a desire to keep my eye on as well. I'll look around to the dragons and whereabouts are they all gone with that?
Yeah, so there's most of the dragons are slowly getting into the water. Sestican has sort of dipped a toe in the water and is now proudly walking alongside it, refusing to get in. You look around for a moment and then you see Ranculos and the silver dragon, who you don't have a name for, trying to go up the ramp onto the big boat Tarman.
Aww.
They're trying to hitch a ride.
I'll head on over to the big boat then and sort of look around, see who's on the boat at the minute.
Well, yeah, the crew, all of the crew, and you do hear Leftrin going, "We're going to have to push off. They're not coming on. They'll cause havoc."
Oh no.
I'll look up and ask is there any chance that they...
Not a chance, my boy. Not a chance. Tarman's not happy with it, and neither am I. He's got a mind of his own, you know.
Who's got a mind of his own specifically?
Tarman. And he gestures
Tarman.
towards the boat. The boat is Tarman.
Oh, okay. Is there really nothing I can do about this? Maybe try to convince one of these ones to keep it in check, so to speak. Is there no convincing you?
Sorry, I'm being distracted by people drawing smiley faces on my boat. He looks at you and... I don't know what... I don't know what you can do about it, but that's a problem you'll have to solve yourself. Pushing off in 3, 2, clear the boardwalk, 1, and the boardwalk sort of comes up and Big Ida gets a big shove and Tarman just goes in the water. And you see Ranculos sort of take a few steps back as if he's thinking about taking a leap onto the boat. And then his head just sort of... His head just sort of drops a little bit and he's... No swimming.
You won't need to swim. We'll find another way. Swimming would be quite dangerous as well, and...
Melkor says we have to swim. Small ones.
Maybe we can find somewhere either shallower or narrower for you to cross. In the meantime...
I'm following that dragon! He looks at Sestican, who's walking alongside the river. And, yeah, give me a dex save, Emil.
Jesus.
That's a 9.
Great! Yeah, he decides where he's going, and he doesn't notice that you're not got the most sure of footing. And with one wing sort of almost bats you to the side, you stumble away, and he sort of picks up into a gallop.
And as he's running, I'm getting... Oh, yeah, like, Ranculos, wait. Please, wait.
He sort of... He hesitates for a moment and looks back, and you just hear in your mind, "What?"
Let me get up on my feet 1 second.
You're always so slow!
Because I have shorter legs, and half of the legs you do.
True.
So I'll look to Ranculos, because I know I remember him getting his ass kicked in 2 separate fights here. That happened. I'll look to him and ask, Ranculos, do you trust me?
You're gonna make me swim?
I won't make you swim, but do you trust me?
Have you got food?
I will get you food. I don't have food right now, but I will do. Do you trust me?
Sometimes. Very hesitant right now. Looking towards Sestican, he's clearly wanting to follow the big red dragon.
Then I'll look to Ranculus and I'll say, I suggest you stay within eyesight of the boats. Or in eyesight of my boat specifically.
Tell the red dragon.
Ranculus may make the wisdom save if he chooses.
Ooh.
Are you doing suggestion?
You're gonna try suggestion on a dragon?
That's so cute.
Ooh.
I would like to try, yes.
He looks to you,
He may choose
and
to make the
you
save
feel
save.
like you've just been punched in the center of the forehead. As his eyes sort of glaze over, they go like dark silver and start swirling. And as he sort of raises up a little bit, suddenly he's not a small, cute dragon, but he's a dangerous predator. And his eyes are sort of swirling right at you, and his face comes like in your face. And you just hear, in a sort of different voice, never try that again. You do not command.
Understood.
Following the red dragon. And with that, he sort of turns and he like quite haughtily walks away from you. After a short moment, he sort of talks to you in your mind. And no spells. Ever.
I understand. Never again, okay? I just... been...
You wanted to make me do the
badly
things I
hurt
don't want to do.
multiple times now.
Yeah,
I know.
get it.
It's just... I
Following
don't
the
want
red
to see you
dragon.
get yourself in trouble you can't get yourself out of, you know?
He's big. He'll protect me. Unless I get the meat first. And with that, you'll notice that... Patrick, you'll notice Sestican quite proudly walking down the edge of the river, not getting in the water like many of the others. And around him is sort of leaping up and down the silver dragon, Ranculos, is almost pestering him. And then from the water, a green dragon, Balapa, or Hops as he was once known, sort of almost pulls Sestican into the water. Like, just sort of grabbing him and like, come on. Sestican sort of hesitating, and there's a little bit of a playful bit of banter and fighting going on. As you can see that, like, almost as you two have formed a bond, the dragons have formed a bit of a friendship too. And they're sort of, this banter continues for a little while until you just see Lucio sort of almost stand up in the water and snarl at them both as they're splashing Lucio. And he doesn't like that. And eventually, most of the dragons will sort of be somewhere between... What do you want, pest? Most of the... Sorry. All of the dragons will be somewhere between walking along the edge of the water and swimming in the water. And, yeah. Patrick and Twiggy, how are you making the boat go forwards?
Well...
I'm not going to ask how you're rowing. I want to know how you're making the boat move.
Yeah, what's the plan?
I kind of figured that we would each take an oar each.
Sick.
Okay.
You want me a D100 each?
Oh, God.
If your numbers are somewhat similar, you're going at the same time.
I
Otherwise,
got
you're...
another very low roll. What does it all mean?
5 and a... Yeah, that's good.
45.
Okay. So at first, Patrick, you're sort of going quite quickly, and Twiggy's not quite keeping up. It's sort of jerky motions, and the boat sort of stutters a little bit. Give me a survival check.
Both of us.
No, just you.
Love that. I'm good at survival, actually. That is a 23.
Yeah. And noticing that Twiggy's not quite in rhythm, you adjust, and with Twiggy's sort of natural athleticism and understanding of, not specifically the athletic skill, but sort of understanding of the body and how to make best use of it, you're able to sort of get in rhythm with Twiggy, and to the surprise of everyone, suddenly the boat sort of shoots forward a little bit.
Yes.
As I'm rowing and I alter my pace, Twiggy just hears row your boat gently down the stream.
Along to the rhythm.
Merrily, 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 merry life is but a row gently down the stream.
As you guys start moving gracefully, you will hear a small round of applause.
Oh, wow.
Specifically
Fans.
from... Yeah, you do have 2 fans watching you from the front of the Tarman. Elise and Cedric have been watching down, and she sort of, bravo, bravo, well done. I told everybody they were a fool for doubting that you'd manage.
Thank you.
Go on.
Tell them not to doubt us again. Now I start showing off.
And then,
them again.
And then you
we
just see.
Couldn't do this without you.
And you just see with a little bit of reluctance, Twiggy, you do notice Cedric reach into his coin purse and hand her a silver piece.
Oh my god.
How cheap.
Money's scarce in this world, alright? As Twiggy and Patrick get moving, go on.
Sorry, is Arya nearby?
You'll see to your right, Arya and Silver just got a little bit ahead of you in case you did something odd. Behind you, Alum and Emil were sort of ready to help you out if anything went wrong. And just to the left, Case and Boxster are not rowing their boat at all. They literally just sat there watching to see what entertaining shenanigans you guys get up to.
Yeah, they were so fast last time. They didn't need to worry.
Next to Arya, I am going to minor illusion a magical copy of their owl.
Wow.
How are you
Doesn't do anything.
You're just using minor illusion?
Sound. Yeah.
Okay.
It
So
just really,
what I
really
really love here is
like
that
the owl.
for a moment there's this static owl, and then your boat sort of keeps going and the owl stays where it is.
Oh no.
It's an odd moment. I'm sure you'll recognise the spell, Arya. Maybe. I think so, right? You have that? Do you have that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I thought so.
Yeah, that's the thing that I do. But do I know who cast it? Probably not. I have shit perception.
Not only that, but Sylvie's actually talking more than she has ever been talking before. So we're going to get to that in a second. But yes, you probably didn't notice too closely. You just saw the owl and like, what?
Yeah, the second you would have turned your head to notice it, I would have like shouted over, "It was me! I did that." It's like your owl, but not.
Natali, it sort of turns to you.
Yeah?
I'm impressed at their boat management, but, well, they're very energetic, aren't they?
There are a lot, but they've been surprising so far.
We need that kind of, what did my dad used to call it? Oh, I haven't thought of him in a long time. Relentless optimism.
I love that.
It's an apt description.
But Arya, as the boats are moving, Sylva's talking 90 to a dozen, really, and sort of gets into this conversation of, it's really important, I think, that we all sort of make friends and we all work out together and look for each other. Grift's right, you know, we're going to be a community, a civilization, a new city, new people, right? And we have to all pull together and cooperate and not push anyone out, right?
Yeah, it's all very important stuff. I mean, the basis for everything needs to be we all get along, to some extent.
I caught Graf talking with Case and Boxster about this new society. I think they forget that there's you, there's Tads, kind of some of the others too, you know, Natani and Emil, and not so. And then she sort of runs a hand over her scaled scalp. Some of us are different in different ways. And that shouldn't matter either.
No, that it really shouldn't. But I mean, I'm kind of fine without that form of attention.
What I spoke to Twiggy and she told me that I should tell you that I've been having pains in my stomach because my scales are too tight and I don't really know what to think about it, and I didn't want to tell you because I don't want you to feel like you're different, but it's really hurting, and she sort of like spiels out about basically her scales across her belly are really tight and they hurt. and she's worried about how they're going to grow, and she feels like you're a good friend, but she didn't want to tell you in case you felt you were different, but she also didn't want to tell you in case you thought she was disgusting or weird or different. And then she sort of just, it all sort of comes out.
Breathe. Okay. All right.
I don't. I like our friendship.
I mean, I like it too. I haven't really.
And she sort of relaxes and almost lets go of the oars, like just sort of catch them at the last moment. I was really worried. Really worried. I know you don't judge all that much, but like, you know, people can be real mean. People have been mean to you too. Like, I don't want to. I just want us all to be friends. I pinged it to him. Yeah, sorry, I keep trying to do that when they're talking, but. So, we good?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm sorry your scales are causing you pain.
Thanks. Melkor says that he might be able to help, but not here. He won't tell me why not here, but I think it's something to do with him. He has to grow, or I don't know.
Well, if he says that he can help you, I'm sure he can.
As you say that, Arya, you'll hear in your mind Amethyst say, not supposed to be talking about that kind of stuff. Dragon knowledge?
No?
Melkor says too much. But
So gotta keep it secret, or?
no, your friend is right. We need to grow more and more. But maybe keep quiet. Talk less. Talk. She means talk more quietly, but is struggling to sort of give you that phrasing. But you'll get it pretty quickly. So just to recap that little tiny bit, just for anybody, because it was a lot of words. Basically, Melkor has told Sylv that in time he might be able to help her with her scales causing pain. But she gets the impression that maybe he needs to grow or be bigger or better in some way. And Amethyst has what's called Amethyst? What is with me? Harmony has confirmed that that is the case, that something needs to happen for that, but has said that it shouldn't really just be discussed in front of everyone.
We'll worry about that stuff later, but if you need anything, Dilly, I'm here for you, okay?
Thank you. I've got this. It's horrible. She sort of shows you her hip flask so you can smell it, not drink it, but like it smells vile. It's like really pungent herbs. Balin gave me this. Says it will ease the pain. Balin, being one of the boat ladies, she's the badass ginger bitch.
Yeah. As long as it's helping, right?
Yeah, helping. And she sort of valiantly takes a big swig. And, boat time. Twiggy and Patrick, as you are proceeding along the river, Case and Boxster are sort of coming up alongside you, one side, then the other, and then one side, and then the other.
They're showing off?
Well, maybe,
so
or maybe they're just being kind of playful. And at one point they start sort of alternating words of row your boat, a la Patrick. And sort of as they get a little close, Kay sort of shouts over, Patrick! Do the fire thing!
Oh.
The fox!
Oh, Firefox.
Thank you for being.
I didn't want to say Firefox because every time I hear that, I'm just like, I'm not calling it Mozilla. I love the way that our cats are literally running from room to room, causing havoc for one of us, then the other, then one of us, then the other. It's like,
They're
be with me, just
yes,
don't wail.
exactly, just don't be.
Yeah, I will summon my Firefox Buttich right in front of his face.
Oh, shit.
Wow!
Gonna take damage?
Yeah!
Oh,
So
yeah,
cool!
Yeah, they will actually.
Sort of. They're both orange scaled and pretty fiery characters.
Yeah, they're fine.
He sort of ducks and puts his arms round it as he goes, and is like, "Whoa, man! Oh, that's awesome!" And they're like, and they sort of playfully flick a bit of water, not at you guys because that's like it's acid.
Rude.
But at the fiery fox to see what happens, to see a little bit of steam dissipate, and they're like, "Whoa, man! It's real fire! Ah, it's so cool. You're the best, Patrick."
What can I? Yeah, I know. What can you do?
Yeah, what can you do? Besides rowing. Better than us. We get it.
We're good at rowing, yeah.
Yeah.
And we hit that beast with a sword before Enel and Rankulos killed it.
I wasn't there for that, but I'll take your word for it.
I'm all meant like right here and now.
Oh.
Yeah, do a trick.
Do a flip.
Do the flip.
I mean, everyone keeps saying that, you know, we're gonna make a town and marry each other. Show us why we should marry you.
Who said that? This is the first time you're hearing this.
Case and Boss sort of look at each other and... Is this about Chad? Maybe. Do you know any tricks? No. We don't know any tricks. We're not cool like you.
Husbands you shall not be. And I will, like, click my fingers and my fox will run back to me. Fly back to me.
I don't want to be a husband yet. And sort of Boxer sort of looks. Boxer flushes sort of quite deep red and sort of looks at his brother and like, you don't like at all. And Casey's like, maybe one day, but like, no time soon.
Damn.
I just want to have some fun, you know, and live and
mom.
grow and you know, and learn to fight and raise our dragons and get to the cool city.
Wow.
We ain't got to marry for that, have we? Box just sort of flushes.
Surely not.
I don't know. I don't think marriage would be quite that bad. Though, he sort of looks around and he looks sort of... He doesn't even look at Twiggy, right? I'm going to tell you that right now. He looks at Jerd. He looks over at Tamara. He looks up ahead at Natani and looks back at Arya and Sylv and is like... There aren't that many girls.
Where is he going with this?
Slim pickings, huh?
Just saying. And then you see him
Tell
sort
me
of
about
stop for a moment, and he looks over your shoulders. There are some.
Where? Where's he looking?
He's looking at the Tarman.
He's looking at the who?
The Tarman, the boat.
Oh.
And just leaning off the boat. No, just off the boat. You'll see Skelly sort of chucking the slops out. She's looking quite rigorous. She's wearing sort of like short cargo shorts. She's got her legs out today. She's wearing boots. She's wearing a fairly like kind of just a plain top. She's in basically what would be seen as man's clothing in this day and age. And she doesn't seem to give a shit what anybody thinks about that. And you hear her sort of yelling back into the ship that, does anyone want another cup? Or should I get rid of the slops? Yeah, as she seems pretty confident and pretty pretty pleased, really, with how things are going today. And you notice Box just sort of watching her, and quickly Case sort of gives him a little slap and like, "Oi! Watch where we're going!"
They just crash. I'll just turn to Twiggy and just say, well, we're not getting husbands today.
Wait, you want a husband too? Case looks at you.
Wait, what? Sorry.
Case looks at you, Patrick, and is like, "You want a husband too?"
Well, I don't know what a husband does, but it sounds nice.
Okay. But watchful eyes, specifically Alum and Emil, will note that Cedric and Elise are listening quite carefully to this conversation.
Oh.
That who, sorry?
Cedric and Elise, the two who don't really have a role. So she's the fancy woman who's an expert in dragons, and he's the fancy guy who's an expert in nothing.
In fashion.
Well, he is an expert in fashion.
Rain, maybe.
Well, their fanciness is totally made for each other, clearly.
Well, they're listening very carefully to the conversation that Case and Boxer are having with Patrick and Twiggy about, you know, like who might want a husband or a wife or whatever.
Look at glancing towards Alan. Alan will say, "Well, seems like we figured out who is looking."
You think we're all gonna pair up when we get there?
Eventually. I don't think there's any rush, though. Really, I mean.
I love that everyone's so disgusted by romance.
No,
Was
no,
that
it's not
really
even, it's
these
just-
lot?
I said no to one guy because he's not
He's a dick.
fun.
He is a dick.
He's not fun.
But no, Emil's response to this is just, well, it's not like there's any rush, really. I mean,
No, there's not, right? There's not. No rush at all. Good. Good. I'm glad we got that
We're
clear.
already-
Like, great. And he's so happy that you've given him permission to not be in love with someone right now. And he's just like, oh, and Molly's like, fuck romance. He's like, so, have you caught any fish? Like, some of the guys have been fishing. It's so, like, I really want to get good. And he, like, starts asking you about fishing and, like, goes into all these questions and stuff that's not really important. But while this conversation's going on, Natani, you are being interrogated. There is no other word for it. This is the most uncomfortable boat ride you've had since you got in a boat with Greft last night. Because all Tats has talked about so far is tomorrow. He's asked you about her. He's asked you sort of like, you know, like, do you think she's a better hunter than Greft? Like, you know, and like he's sort of like, do you think that she's angry with me? And like, you have no way of knowing the answers to any of the questions he's asking. And he doesn't even wait. He just goes into the next one and the next one. And after about half an hour, he just sort of looks at you and, I'm talking too much, aren't I?
Sorry, didn't notice.
Thanks. That's got all my head messed up, you know? Me and Tamara have been friends since we were kids, and no one else liked her, and no one else talked to her. And now everyone wants to talk to her, and everyone likes her, and, you know, I'm just feeling a bit jealous. It's not that I want to marry her, or anything like that. I just...
No?
No. I just...
Insight check.
Yeah, you can, there's nothing really to insight, to be fair. Like, he's just like, no, I just... We were best mates. We were best friends, you know? And now... She's all interested in other people. Like, not just Rapscal or whatever, but, like, even with you. Stuff. And I just miss my best friend, you know? That's all. I'm sorry. I do like her, but it's not what matters. That's all I'm saying. You really don't care, do you?
Why weren't you two teamed up originally? If you'd known each other so long.
She said we had to branch out and make bridges.
the other people?
She said we had to meet everyone. Yeah, and you know what? I had fun with Patrick and Tricky, and she was having fun with you, and it was good. And then when we got back to the camp, I thought she'd want to chat and talk about it all, and she didn't want to talk to me at all.
I think it's going to take a long time for everybody to settle into who they want to be and who they actually are.
That's true. I don't want to be anything like my parents. And I'm not sure I want to be exactly like all you guys. You know, with the... He sort of gestures to a place on his face where your scales are. I'm not saying they're not nice, but I'm not sure they're all for me. And I just know I didn't want to be back there. In Treehawk.
I get that.
So, do you mind rowing for a bit? I was going to try and catch some fish for us.
Sure.
You'd rather talk about fish than Tamara, right? So, I don't know exactly how this works. Well, I can't promise it's going to work, but... And then he sort of shows you a little bit. He tells you what he's doing, not because he thinks you're desperately interested or because he's desperately interested, but mostly so that, A, if you ever had to go fishing, you'd know what you were doing, but also just to fill the silence, I guess. Yeah, as you all make relatively good progress down the river. We get to about noon. The sun's high overhead. When you hear a sort of cry, shout, roar, dragon noise. You hear a dragon noise. And then a second one and then a third. As if it's a sound of slight discomfort. Arya sort of... Arya, you will notice, you just hear it up ahead somewhere. And Arya, you will notice Syl sort of, oh no! We've got to get to the dragons. We've got to get to the dragons. Milko's stuck and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it one bit. I think some of them are stuck. Quick! She's holding the oars and, like, she's not even rowing, she's just panicking.
Do you want to switch? You've been doing it. I'll go.
Okay, yeah. And then you hear one more sort of roar and, not Laura, Natani. You will hear sort of Lucio's quite prideful. It would do you well to get here quickly. It seems I might need human help.
We're on our way. Is anybody hurt?
Just stuck. Like fish in a barrel. Oh, here comes another one. And you hear another sort of trumpeted roar. Yeah, as you guys come around the corner, you will see the source of the problem. The river sort of narrows slightly, and then it goes down a little hill. It's perfectly passable for boats. But at the bottom of the hill is this sort of dip. And all of the dragons have sort of... Kalo's got stuck, and then all of the dragons have got stuck up behind Kalo.
Oh no.
In fact, the only dragons that
when they've got stuck
aren't stuck... Well, they sunk too deep and then couldn't get back up over the lip. And all the dragons, except for Ranculos, and Sestakan, and currently Balapa, but it's looking like it's going to be Balapa pretty soon. As Balapa is currently trying to swim away, like back down the river against the current to try and get away from this mess.
Oh, no.
And Harmony, who is sort of very lightly just stood on one little tiny rock, just sort of looking. She has nowhere to go apart from into the mess. She's miles away from anywhere else, and she's just stood on this one rock, just sort of looking at everybody going, no, not happening. But yeah, as you guys sort of get there, you will note that Greft has sort of strung a rope from one side of the river to the other. He was up the front. And he will call out to the first people to get there, which is probably Natani and Tats. And then Case and Boxster and Rapskull and Tamara. We'll just say, there's a rope across the river. Grab it. Grab hold. We can block up so we don't bump into the dragons. Maybe we can help them out. And sure enough, after a little while, all of you can make a little blockade of boats. And behind that is Tarman. And you can walk along the boats to get to the shore.
I'd like to, once I reach there and I see what's going on, I'd like to cross over towards the shore and try to approach the dragons.
Okay. So this water was flowing nice and freely, and now it just isn't. It's just a little bit uphill, and it's then really shallow.
And now it's just soupy mud.
Yeah, I mean, there is water, but not enough for anyone to swim in.
Yeah, but no, they're just stuck in mud, really, and can't get up a hill.
Even if they could, the boat cannot go that way.
Oh. So the boats can go no further?
Your boats maybe, but Tarman, no.
Right, okay, that's going to be a complication for Tarman. But first things first, the most important problem, I'd like to approach the lead dragon, the one at the front that's stuck.
Kalo?
Yeah, Kalo.
Give me an insight check as you do so.
Insight, okay. My insight is not fantastic, but...
That's okay.
Give it a shot. 15.
Nice.
Don't get too close to that dragon.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't look happy at all.
Okay, despite that, I would like to take the risk, and I'll call that to Kalo. You appear to be rather stuck there. May I...
Thanks for the observation, imbecile!
Well, if you would rather, I would not help, but if you would like, I will offer my aid to you.
What is your puny little form going to do?
If you would allow it, I could try to grant you some of the strength to free yourself. I don't know if it'll be enough, but...
Are you offering yourself as food?
No. No, but you're certainly not going to be able to go and get any food if you're stuck there, are you?
Be specific.
If you will allow me to get close enough to you, then I could provide you with a boon, a gift that I've been granted from a mighty one. If you will consent to the magic.
Magic? And then Melkor sort of cuts through, and magic doesn't work the way you might think on a dragon. It is likely your charms will not assist. But I will allow it if Kalo will not.
Okay. Are you stuck, Melkor?
Every dragon is stuck except for Rankulos, Harmony, and Sestakon, and currently Balapur is in the middle of the water, swimming, like treading water, going in away from them, achieving nothing, but not currently in a pile of dragons.
I need to help him.
Yeah, well, I'll reply to
pretty
Melkor
amusing to watch.
specifically. I'll reply to Melkor specifically. If you will allow it, then I can
Go
try
ahead.
and see if it works.
Whatever it is, it won't harm me, I'm sure.
Okay, then I'm going to approach if that's okay, and I will start moving towards Melkor.
Yeah, okay.
Trying to trudge through
Tell
them.
me how you... No. Okay, so the dragons are in the water.
they're
You're
in the
going
water.
to have to either sort of reach down and maybe like touch Melkor's tail or something, if you need
That
to
will be
touch them.
enough.
Okay.
Yes.
What are you trying to do?
I'd like to give him guidance to see
Oh.
if he gets enough strength to do an athletics
It's-
check or something to get
That was
there
me
now.
thinking we were going to get like
theatrics.
enhance
Guidance.
ability or like
That's what I
levitate,
thought would happen.
right? And it's like,
No,
yeah, here's a
I don't have any
guidance.
of that yet, but I would
Okay,
like
it was an
you'll notice his skin shimmer as if like it's just bounced off, and again you feel that almost thump in the front of your forehead. Your magic has no effect on the dragons.
Damn.
That
was
being
hoping
said,
that
he sort of
would
looks
at
at
least
you and
help.
your efforts are appreciated, but perhaps you would be better served getting logs. We might have to dam ourselves in to get out. This is quite humiliating. Fetch my keeper. He says this to you as if somehow you're just going to magically walk on water and bring Sylph.
We'll head on over to them anyway, regardless, and I'll let them know that Melkor is indeed
Jamal, everybody's in boats on the water, right? You've managed to sort of get your way there, but like people are in, so you can't just head on over to Sylph, but you can shout out or whatever.
I thought I could clamber on over the boats, but yeah.
Yes, that doesn't mean you can get to her though. But yes, as you are all arriving, you're sort of on this barrier of boats. There's about 60 feet of deep water, fast rushing deep water in front of you, in the middle of which is Balapa, and Amethyst on a rock. And then there's 7 or 8 dragons clogged up in this sort of little area of rising water before the river becomes like this. So if you like, the dragons are in this direction. They're closer to us.
Does there seem to be a route that the water could be diverted?
As in, if you dam the water, where's it going to go?
Right, like...
That's a good idea.
Yeah, there are little bits of lower land to the side, a little bit further up. You could maybe divert some of it to flow out, at least to slow the water flow. That might at least help Balapur out, if no one else. Melkor's idea is that if you build the dam sort of along the dragons, they could use those logs to clamber out. They've got no footing. That's their biggest problem. And the acid water is not comfortable for anybody to touch, even the dragons. Sort of moseying on up from the right-hand side, 2 dragons. 2 little dragons. These 2 dudes. Everybody forgot about them. Just sort of wander, like, they're just chilling, like, over here. And they sort of wander up, and one of them just sort of noses at Kalo's tail.
Oh, no.
And then the bronze one turns around and... Stuck!
Oh, wow!
Oh.
That's her second word
job.
after hungry. And she jumps and gives a pathetic little flap of these tiny malformed wings, and then lands back on the ground and... Stuck. And the dragon, the little copper dragon, goes off into the forest, and after a few minutes later comes back with a stick, about 1.5 feet long, puts it down next to Kalo, who's, by the way, 60 foot, I think. Something like that. Do we have a token for him?
Alright, well.
Big fucking dragon.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, big dragon. For reference, here is Rankulos.
Yeah.
Kale's a big boy. So yeah, the little copper dragon has given them a little stick. Tarman has sort of put down anchor a bit back down the river, and Captain Leftrin has made his way down the edge of the river. Looks like trouble. I don't know where the hunters are either. They would have stopped and warned us if they had to come this way. I think we missed something.
Well, what should we do?
Enough logs.
First things first, I know what I'd like him to do.
Enough logs and stuff. We might be able to give the dragons some purchase.
On it! I'm getting logs.
Okay.
Yeah, does anybody have an axe?
Hold on, Balapur!
Tats sort of looks at you, and he's got a battle axe, remember?
Yep, he's the one.
He sort of looks at you and... Well, it's felling trees that I knew. That's how I knew how to use the axe. Let's get to it, though. These jungle trees look like the trees back home. With that, he sort of slams his axe into a tree, and it sort of doesn't really enter it at all. The trees of the Rain Wilds can be anything between 40 and 100 feet wide in diameter. They are huge.
Thick.
Well, you remember, people build houses in them, right?
Yep.
So just to bring you back to... do we have a picture of Treehawk? Oh, maybe I did it like this. Handouts. Places. Yeah. So trees look like this, right? They're huge.
Yeah, gigantic fuckers.
So what you're having to do is sort of chop off bits of root and stuff that have grown out over
Yes.
the ground.
Let's do that.
And Natani, Lucio was sort of very uncomfortable, burning feeling, real tight, and Sintara is crushing my foot.
We're gonna get you some trees.
I I want
Hopefully
a
we'll
tree.
be able to get some purchase.
Oh. Ah, to clamber like a monkey, right? Very well. I don't like it. Can't you make the water slow? The Elderlings could do that.
Not something that's in my power.
Maybe one day. Ow! You hear another sort of, and another dragon sort of complain as another one is like stepping on another one and on another one. As the group of you sort of go and get trees and logs. Has anybody got any other ideas? Anything else that they can contribute to this situation?
So...
Use your guidance.
No, I'm
What's coming next? Suggestion?
I suggest you get out.
Suggest to the water that flows the other way. What have you got, Rustabal? Sorry,
yeah, I know. So I would like to look around and see if there's any trees which look like they're softer, made of softer wood as such, or any
there's lots of
trees
bits
that
of branches
have
that are dead, like these bits you can see here and like here and stuff. These bits of tree are like lying by the water. You can pick them up.
Sure, but they're not going to be big enough. I'm looking specifically for like any trees which either look like they're weak enough that they'll be a lot easier to fell, or any that are softer, so that'll be quicker and easier for an axe to tear through the thing.
Yeah, you do note that that Tats has found a tree he's working on. It's a younger tree. It's sort of curved out almost over the water. And he's sort of halfway up the branch, so he's not trying at the trunk, which was too thick before for his axe. He's trying a bit further up. And Leftrin has come and joined him with an axe, and the two of them are swinging alternately at this one log, but it's only one log.
And it's going to need a lot then.
Well, you also note that various different members of the team, so to speak, are getting branches.
Right.
I have an idea.
Yeah, go on.
But I don't know if it'll work because magic works weird on dragons.
It often just doesn't. At all.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want to try?
Casting Riptide. It only works with
What or who is that?
I'll display in a VTT so you can read it.
Advanced.
Technically, you're only casting that on the water. Even though you've got to target a person in it, what you're doing is affecting the water.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
As you're thinking about this, Sestakan sort of, go on. I'd rather you help than me. Look at them. Like cattle.
If you believe I can help.
I believe you
And then
want
I
to,
will-
Patrick, and that's good enough. And as
I
you
will
see this,
walk
he sort of,
in
just before you do, he sort of walks over to the edge, and he sort of notices Fent, the green dragon, Tats' dragon, a little closer to his side of the shore. And there's a very brief and rapid angry exchange between them, when Fent sort of demands that Sesta can drag her out of the water. And he basically tells her to fuck off. Like, that's the exchange that goes on. And then you see Melkor sort of speaking a bit more quietly, sort of, perhaps... Oh! What's that? And you see the two of the dragons sort of rock to the side. For a sudden, a little head pops out, a little red head pops out, and you will notice that Hebe is underneath some of the other dragons, trying to shoulder them out from the ground. Whilst all the others are refusing to help anyone, Hebe's acting like a sort of grunt mule. Patrick, as you step to the side of the water, what do you do?
Yeah, I'll step forward to the edge of the water, and I'll look at Sestakan, who's opposite on the other side, and I'll just breathe in, breathe out. And then with like swaying motions, we'll begin to cast a Riptide to try and change the currents of the water.
I need you to pick a
bit
dragon
more
to try and move.
forceful.
In
Yeah.
what direction we
So it would be the main one, the bad guy.
The big
Not
black
bad guy,
dragon.
but
The bad guy.
Yeah, so he's
mean one.
So he's the one who's wedged against the wall with all the other dragons pressed up against him.
Exactly. So I'm thinking if I scoot him along.
He has nowhere to go. He's
Free
got a
up
wall
everyone else.
and dragons. That's what I'm saying. He's got nowhere to.
But where does the rest of the water go?
It turns into
Like-
this pathetic little.
Yeah,
stream.
but if I push him down that way,
You
then all
can't.
the
You
others
can't
can
push him
follow.
into this. You can't push him up the cliff. Is what I'm saying, right? So he's
No,
down from the ledge.
But if he's against the cliff like that, right? Then can't I just move him this way? Oh,
Right. So wall across here. Yeah. Dragons are here, right? And this is Kalo,
Yeah.
like right here, and the others are here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're all pushed up against him. He can't
Yeah.
go in that direction because there's
Of
no
course not.
right.
I'm
And
saying,
he can't go in this direction because there's dragons
No.
between him and that direction.
I'm saying whoever's blocking them, move them this way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We need to target one of the outer
Yeah.
dragons to move them out.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
sorry,
Yeah.
I thought he was the one at the
No,
front.
no, he's the one who's most stuck because all the other dragons are stuck around
Okay,
him.
yeah, yeah. So whoever it is at
So
this
that would be
end.
Arbuck and
Yeah,
Lucio.
Arbuck.
So Lucio obviously being Natani's dragon. And Arbuck is Alam's dragon. He is the... Oh, no, that's his character sheet. Let me not do that. Where are our dragons? Arbuck, there we go. He's the pale blue one. Two of the smaller dragons, but they're not the smallest.
Yeah, so I'll target Arbuck, and yeah, again with like very fluid motions, kind of try and forcefully push the tide.
Yeah. Laura,
In
can
that
you
direction.
can you draw an arrow just in any direction so that it stops being an arrow that's just stuck? It's just stupid D&D Beyond. Well, Roll20 or whatever this thing's called. Okay, so you cast the Riptide, and for a moment, Arbuck almost panics, sort of his claws going up in the air like this, and Alam sort of looks to you and... Are you doing something?
Sorry, was that to me?
Yeah, Alam is asking you.
Yeah, I'll just say, I am one with nature. I am one
Right.
with nature.
He leans over to Twiggy, who's carrying a log.
Yep.
What's he doing to Arbuck?
He's one with nature. Don't worry. I think Patrick has a plan. I think he's gonna free them.
It's okay,
He has control
Arbuck.
over
It's
magic
okay,
and the
Arbuck. He
elements.
has... This is to help. It's to help. And you're moving him towards the shore, is that right?
Yes.
And as you do so, you will hear Sestigan's voice sort of from, are you expecting me to fish him out?
No. Nature will take care of everything. And everyone.
And you get him to the shore, and Arbuck sort of scrabbles up the shore like this. And
Can I get out?
not quite.
How big is this one?
Pretty small.
Oh, I was just gonna see if I could hold out this log for him to like.
Okay, yeah, so you hold out a
Cling on
log,
to.
and very quickly Natani brings a log, and a couple of others bring a log, and then Greft sort of brings this long bit of like bracken and vine, sort of lays it over the top. And Arbuck sort of scrabbles out.
Perfect. Nice job, Patrick.
And he sort of runs a little way away from the water. Then he turns around, he runs back towards the water, and then he runs away a bit. But he sort of shakes himself off. And... Gotta help. Keeby's pushing. And then he sort of tries to get you to get the logs in a little bit further. And Alam looks to you and... Patrick, can you do that again?
Okay, but just one more time.
I was about to
is
say,
the
what's the-
Do you have two
in
spell
roleplay
slots?
way of saying.
Do you have two spell
Right.
slots for it? I don't know what
Yes.
level spell it is, so...
And I will turn towards the river again and just be like,
Okay, so the next one's Lucio.
one with nature.
Let's go.
I am one with nature.
Yeah. And Lucio
Nature
begins
is
drifting,
one
and
with me.
you'll just hear quite loudly, this is almost worse than being stuck with the rest, as he's sort of flailing in this water that's moving him. and just about gets to the shore, and instead of scrabbling up like the others did, he attempts this really graceful, like, leap out the water with his wings, and then falls back in next to the shore and scrabbles up again, and he like scrabbles up the log. And between the two of them now, Arbuck and Arbuck and Lucio, and Ranculos, who's also sort of pulling a little bit at some of the branches. Sestican is standing nearby, looking at the rest of them, just a bit reluctant. And then finally, he just offers his tail down for one of them to grab onto, should they wish. And then Hebe gives this sort of giant push, and the Fent will sort of fly out the water and just flop on the side of the water, on the side of the river. Slowly, one by one, everybody but Case is out. Everyone but Case. Case isn't in the water.
Why is he in there? He's dead.
Everyone but Kalo is out of the water.
He really didn't want a husband.
And Kalo sort of turns to the rest and, now that you fools are out my way, and he simply just like lashes his tail down and flips out his wings and pulls himself up over the edge onto the next bit of river. And you can tell that it's only because somebody crashed into his back that he wasn't able to do that in the first place, and he's fuming about it. And now he sort of stands the other side. We need rest. Find us somewhere dry and meet.
You're welcome.
You are not. And with that, you're able to find a little bit of a campsite, just slightly close, with a really conveniently placed tent.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes. So glad we brought that. But the hunters are not here.
Where are they?
That is concerning. Do they normally travel on the big boat, or do
They have their own
boats with
boat.
us?
They have their own boat, the three of them.
So they went on ahead
Well,
of us, probably.
two of them used the boat. Jess was back on Tarman. Yeah, they always go ahead. Jess was on Tarman and was going out with his bow into the forest closer up. But just to give you an idea, you guys are sort of, well, I can't make it small enough, but you see that little gap?
Yes.
You're either here or maybe here, or potentially here, but you're not here.
Which is probably where the hunters were, if we had to guess.
Yeah, but you guys can't see
that
that.
badly.
You can't see that as characters. You just know that after a little while, Leftrin comes over to you and we've had word from Carson and Davy. We seem to have taken a wrong turning somehow. I didn't even see a turning. And how we did that. The main channel was obscured by some low branches. He said they left a sign for us to see, but I didn't see it. I apologize. We'll rest here, and then we'll get back to the others. It's going to be hard going back upstream. I don't know how far back we're going to have to track.
But the Tarman's going to be able to keep going down the river?
We must track back to take a different route, but Tarman will find his way.
Well, we're not dead.
That's the spirit, young girl. As you're all sort of... the dragons are getting rest. There's a little bit of meat from the boat being passed out. Twiggy. Balapa sort of... Hey.
Oh, Balapa.
Hurting.
Oh. Oh no.
Sore.
Where? Can I see? What
The
happened?
water. It's
I thought you guys resist the water's effects.
when our skin is intact.
Oh.
The hole, I think. Or...
Does he have like a wound? Can I see
And
it?
he will sort of very reluctantly raise his wing out. It's a bit flimsy, but, you know, he's quite pleased with his wings, so compared to the other dragons. And he will show you a small what looks to be a little wound, just or sore maybe, just under his wing.
Oh no. Do you know when this happened? Or how?
In the water. I don't know. Maybe it was there before, but it's getting worse.
Okay, let me try something. Hold on. Can I try to spend a key point and use a hand of healing on that?
Give me a medicine check. Or an investigation check, your choice.
Let's go with medicine.
Turns out Twiggy looked much brighter than Patrick. Based on that decision.
That's a 17.
Yeah. This wound isn't like an open sore, it looks like an entry wound. As if, you've seen sometimes, like, when animals have been hit by arrows, you see a sort of entry wound into them.
Yeah.
That's what this looks like.
There's nothing sticking out of it, and there's no exit wound. I think it was pierced by something.
As you look deeper into the wound, he gets quite uncomfortable as you poke around a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
He waits a moment, and, you see what appears to be a thin blue something? Like a little sort of point almost, or
like a splinter.
Maybe it's quite wide. It's quite wide for a splinter. It's sort of an inch or so in width.
Oh, I'll show it to him.
Well, you can't. You can't pull it. You're touching it to try.
It
No. You can see it in the wound.
Okay, no. I will inform Balapur.
Get it out.
Oh. Okay, then. I will try.
Something's
that.
in me?
It looks like something... I don't know, you were maybe pierced by something.
What are you trying to do?
It will try and expertly yank it out very quickly like Operation.
As you grip it, it wriggles.
Is that how you play Operation?
Not now.
Yeah, just do it really quick and don't mess up.
There's a bit buzzing lungs are fast.
Yeah, it wriggles, and you try and get a grip, and it's sort of writhing away from you.
Ew, it's like a bug or something. Okay.
That hurts!
Oh, sorry. Okay, hold on.
As you're saying this, Elise sort of comes over and... Is everything okay? Your dragon appears distressed.
No, something's, like, wriggling. It's pierced Balapur.
Wriggling? Like a parasite? Like a leech?
Yeah, maybe like that.
She sort of looks over. Lefrin! One of the dragons is distressed. Can you help? And you can see that she's quite familiar with Lefrin. She seems quite... They seem friendly together. Lefrin comes over and sort of...
She's on the boat a lot.
Sees you... sort of gives you a bit of a nod and...
Tweezers or something?
It's too thick for tweezers. It's like an inch thick and it's wriggling away from you.
Oh,
might I have a look?
Alright, but be gentle.
He sort of leans in. He doesn't poke or touch or anything. He just leans in and looks. And I thought it might be. That's a rasp snake. That's real bad. A rasp snake.
What is that? Rasp snake?
Burrowing creatures. They burrow into creatures and make their eggs within. It'll kill
no, they don't.
A single one would kill a deer. But I imagine the dragons are a lot more resistant, but where there's one, there's many, especially in the water. Elise, I suggest you tell the other keepers to inspect their dragons thoroughly. Groom them completely.
Gosh.
I'll go back and get the oil. Tarse oil, that'll do it.
Alright.
Whiskey works too, but frankly, I'd rather spare the tarse oil. He goes back to the town and he comes back with a... he'll grab Greft and Natani and ask them to come and carry a barrel each. And Big Ida will bring a fourth.
I would say I would have been already vigorously grooming Lucio.
It won't take you long to find 2 pierced holes in Lucio. Emil, you will find 2 in Ranculos, deep under his belly.
Crap.
Patrick, you will find 1 on Sestican on the back of his leg from the first day. Amethyst appears to be completely clear of them. who's still not called Amethyst. She's still called Harmony. What is wrong with me? Who the fuck is that? It's because she is an Amethyst dragon, and somehow like that's become her name in my head, and I just can't help it. I'm so sorry. Yeah, specifically, you will find Skymore has 2, Melkor has 1, and every other dragon has at least 1 too.
Yeah, I've done a really bad job at crewman if I took place on day 1. I never
No, you think it took place yesterday when he went in the water, whereas he didn't go in the water today. And it's just 1 in the back of his leg, but it's burrowed so far, and it's just this tiny little, almost miniature hole. But now you know what you're looking for. It doesn't just look like a gap in scales; it looks like the end of a tail. And eventually, after the rasp oil is tarse oil, is smeared around, the creature sort of almost wriggles backwards, trying to get out. Twiggy, the rasp snake inside Balapo is almost 3 foot long.
That's like as tall as me. I kill it. Ew.
How do you kill it? It's not. It's got burrowing teeth. It's not cute at all. That's just come out of someone's body.
He's got big shiny eyes, but I do chop it.
Okay.
Right
just
up the
karate.
head.
Okay.
Smash it.
And Lefron sort of kicks it away and careful. They can be toxin. They can be toxins. Yeah, they can be toxins. Toxious isn't a word. What am I looking for? Anybody?
Venomous, poisonous.
Venomous, poisonous. Yeah, any of those words are good. Toxious, not. I think noxious is the word I was going for. That's not what I meant.
Yeah, no,
yes,
not
toxic. Toxic. There we go. Just nice and simple. We can't eat them, sadly. And as they go around to all of the different creatures, Sylv will approach Twiggy and Patrick and say, would you help me?
Yeah. Does Melkor have some of these things too?
Melkor had 1, but that's gone. It's just no one's checked the silver or the copper. And
dibs on the copper.
I thought maybe we could all try together. They can be quite difficult and uncooperative.
Yeah, let's wrangle
By difficult, do you mean adorable?
I suppose they are in a kind of dirty, muddy way.
Exactly. All right.
And as she leads you over, she sort of, Ario?
Yeah?
We were going to check the copper and the silver. If Harmony's okay. Could you help?
Yeah, she is fine, right?
Yeah. She, Harmony's actually the only one. Harmony's the only one who had none. Partly because she's so obsessed with being so pretty, and partly because her scales are a little tighter together, being of crystal nature. Lucio only had the 1, and the same with Fent, the gem dragons, effectively. Skymore did have 2, but she is much bigger. The gem dragons seem to be a lot more resistant, and it was a lot easier to get them out.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can help out.
You've met, right? Like, you've talked, like, this is... And she sort of gestures towards Twiggy and Patrick and you, and, like, as if she's introducing you, even though it's, like, day 4. But she just sort of wants you to be, like... She wants everybody to be friends of friends, and you remember back to that boat talk that she was saying about everybody, like, pulling together and stuff, and she was like, teamwork,
right.
All that.
Yeah.
Hi.
And she will lead you over to this beautiful creature.
Oh, hey, muddy buddy.
The copper dragon backs away a little as you guys approach. Dragons look really silly when they walk backwards. I just want you to know that.
Come here. Just hold out my hands like I'm calling a cat.
And the copper dragon shakes her head and takes 2 more steps backwards.
Ah, jeez.
Anyone have food on them?
Oh, that's a good idea. I pull out a fish.
A live one or...
From where?
From my pocket.
Why have you got a fish in your pocket?
Pocket
why'd you
fish?
why'd you have fish in your
We've
pocket?
been on the boat all day. I assume I had time to cast a
So
line.
Give me a sleight of hand check for
smelling-
fish hiding.
Like,
What is that? What is that roll?
A sleight of hand check for fish hiding.
Oh, okay, great.
my
Oh, that was pretty
Tactical pocket
good.
fish.
Sleight of hand. That's a 18.
Yeah, you put out the tiniest little sardine-like fish.
That's perfect. Yeah, I thought Valiper wouldn't
like,
be impressed with
Everybody
that.
thought
That
you
would
might
be a
have
snack for
caught,
me.
like, until when you first went to put out a fish, everyone thought you'd caught it. No, you just kept this from breakfast. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
exactly.
Yeah, and the copper sort of looks at you and sort of almost like hunches over as if protecting her belly. Or his belly, I'm not sure. Sort of moves over and
And it's hurt too.
opens its mouth for you to put the fish in.
Chuck it like an M&M.
Grabs it and then sort of shuffles back a little bit. So sort of, maybe we should surround them and we should really check them. Really, really check them.
That might not be a
They
good
look
idea.
hurt. Don't you think?
Surrounding a scared animal.
Would be they're not animals.
What
There's
are they?
intelligence in there.
So
She
you're
sort of
saying
kneels
that animals
down
aren't
and
intelligent.
I'm coming to help you. It might be uncomfortable, but we're gonna help you. Slowly now. More fish. More fish. And then you know that Sylv like feels like she looks ridiculous. And she's kneeling in the mud.
promising fish.
No! What? You're doing great.
I was about to wonder if she was about to pull out a pocket fish.
I know.
She doesn't have any fish.
Saying, I'm all out.
Well, fish later. More food. Lots of food. And we'll make you pretty and gleaming and shiny.
Are
and...
you gonna become a dragon keeper?
She looks to you and it's just like, what?
To her.
You mean the dragon
Nobody
keeper?
has one.
She has a big golden
No,
dragon.
like a second dragon.
Oh,
Like a dragon keeper.
Melkor wouldn't let me do that, but I can help. And then with that, she could have. She's really hurt. Or he, they, I don't know.
What do you
How do you tell a dragon's gender? Does it matter?
Uncertain.
They're bleeding badly.
Oh,
Oh boy. Alright,
Come on.
Just come here. We're here to help.
And as you finally get close enough to put your hand on the copper dragon sort of like wilts into you and like gives up completely.
It's gonna be okay. Alright? Can you let us see?
She sort of moves her head back a little bit, but not really much. She's quite low to the ground as well, and she's covered in mud. But you will note that first of all there is a bleeding chest wound, sort of just about halfway down her chest. Sort of, I don't know why I'm pointing on me when I could point on. Oh, I can't point on the dragon. So just in front of her right foreleg. You will also note that there are 7 or 8 holes in her underbelly for snakes.
Jesus.
oh my goodness.
And a creature of this
How is it
size.
still alive?
You
That's
get
a
them.
good
Well,
question.
if you remember right at the beginning, right in episode 1, the copper and the silver dragon were nuzzling up against Tarman, the boat. They've been going in the water all the time.
Well, how do we, like, obviously once we get them out the holes, that's one thing. But then how do we stop the holes from getting infected?
Dragon's
Or
healing is
anything
pretty
like that?
powerful. They should be okay with their own. But as you look closer, which one of you 4 feels the most accomplished to make a medicine check? 3.
Me.
Okay, Patrick. As you look closer, give me a medicine check as you see the bleeding wound.
Can I help,
Okay.
Patrick?
How are you helping? Come up if
Well,
you're coming
listen.
up, or don't if you don't, if you're not.
Pass the cowpole.
I'm also sort of trained in this kind of thing.
You're proficient in
I-
medicine?
I am, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Patrick, give me a medicine check with advantage.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would know how to help. You sort of spread out the tissue. And
Yeah,
have proper
I'm
access.
shining a light.
Okay, that's a 22.
Yeah.
Nice.
it's pretty obvious where this wound comes from. As you can see, there is a bit of the tool still in there. You won't recognize what it is, but it is a hooked piece of metal with a little tube.
A what?
Aria.
Wait, what?
Like a fishing hook?
Aria, give me a... Ow! No, you don't need to bite my chin. My chin is perfectly fine as it is. Thank you.
Aww.
I don't know why she does that. Such a weird way of showing affection. Give me a... history check, I guess, maybe. That's an odd one. Yeah.
Natural 20, 22.
Sick!
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen this used on farms that you've passed by before. It's literally a tool for extracting blood.
What?
Well, you'd all have heard the rumours of how wondrous the healing of blood can be, and dragon blood can be, and how magical dragons are, but none of you would have ever considered that your dragons might be akin to that. They're legends, history. That is a man's tool, is it not? Melkor says behind you. And Harmony sort of, this is bad. Real bad.
Yeah, where did it come from?
You'll note very quickly that almost all of the dragons have sort of formed a circle around you.
Feel very small suddenly.
You've got all the rasp snakes out, and you're just holding this, basically half of an old school syringe. The copper dragon looks at you, Twiggy, and Patrick, and Sylv, and Arya, and leans in real close and says, Ralpta? I am Ralpta.
What?
She'll tell you her name, Ralpta.
Aww.
Oh,
And then she looks to Sylvan. Not a boy.
My gosh.
Thank you. And you can see that she was obviously really weak, but when you've got these rasp snakes out, like, she's looking so much better. And she looks to Sylv again and sort of, shiny? Pretty? Please?
Did promise.
There's something else first. Melkor says quite clearly. Someone did this to her.
Are you saying it was one of us, or are there maybe other people out here?
This is a human problem.
Yeah.
The humans will solve it. But we must know what happened. No. Forgiven. Noctis sort of nods her head. And, forgiven.
Aww.
Mistake.
Oh.
You know, you can be my dragon if you want.
No, she cannot. You hear in your head quite loudly as Sestican sort of moves over. You have duties to attend to.
Very well. But I'll wink at the copper dragon.
Mm-hmm. And the silver dragon sort of reluctantly shuffles over towards the four of you,
Get in here.
looking for you also to see whether they
Let's
have any
check
rust
you out
dragons. And
too.
again, you find 7 or 8 of them in their underbelly.
Oh.
No
Okay.
pierced wounds, no blood draining happening. But as soon as you remove these snakes, these 2 dragons seem a lot more competent. And indeed, it's not that long before the Tarmans brings some food up from Carson and Davy. And you can all feed the dragons very well. Sylv will suggest that you take it in turns, 2 of you and 2 of you. She suggests that she would like to go with Twiggy, and that perhaps Arya and Patrick might take a turn afterwards. She's trying to, I don't know, do that building bridges thing. And as she's sort of working with you, Twiggy, she'll ask you about Balapa. What's he like?
About who?
Balapa, your dragon.
Balapa? Balapa.
Yeah, we didn't get Balapa out the water, did we? But then we rescued.
We did.
How did we do it? Like, I don't know whether we didn't really talk about how Balapa and Harmony got out the water.
But
that magic
fell
happened.
In after everyone else.
That's probably
clear.
And I think Harmony probably had to jump eventually and get to the shore, jumping to.
No problem.
I completely bypassed that. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, Balapa is a pretty cool dragon.
Yeah.
I don't mean to brag, but he is definitely going to be the best flyer out there.
Oh, Malcolm won't let me see his wings properly. I think he's ashamed.
Oh. What do you mean? Are they small?
No, but the skin's really thin.
Well, I think they're all still growing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But he's going to fly? Balapa's going to fly? Has he tried?
Oh, yes. A little bit here and there. He's done some hovering that's been quite impressive. Apparently, I lower my voice. Apparently, flying is how they get, mates. Have you heard about this, Syl? I feel like Melkor tells you stuff.
He talks to me more than the other dragons talk to their keepers, I think. But,
Yeah.
the only thing I know about mating is he waits for Tintaglia. If you remember, Tintaglia was the dragon that was big and full and almighty and powerful, that led you guys to help you guys mate. But you watched Tintaglia mating with a big black dragon called Icefire in the last episode of Soulforged. Your characters don't know about that, but you guys saw it. It definitely happened. So she's got a mate. But you guys, you don't know that.
He has big ambitions.
I think he thinks the females are ill-mannered.
What do you mean? He's not impressed? I mean, the blue
biggest
one,
female is Skymore, and she's mean.
Tell me about it. I'll show her the bruise that's still healing from when she bowled me over the other day. Well...
That's mean.
Well, they have their different dispositions, but yeah, I'm hoping Balapur chooses someone else.
As you're having this discussion, Natani, Lucio has encouraged you to move to a quieter area, a little further away. It is hard for a dragon to say thank you.
I imagine it's hard to ask for help in the first place.
Dragons shouldn't need help. Grooming. Care. Attention. Perhaps. Songs, definitely. But help. We should be born mighty. Launching into the sky. Hunting for the first 4 weeks. No dragon has ever been born this small in all the memories of all of my ancestors. Never before
It's a new world.
has a dragon known shame. And now I will pass that to my ancestors if I am ever fit to breed.
Why should you feel any shame?
I am a pathetic reflection of what once might have been a dragon.
I don't think that's true at all.
We never claimed that humans were intelligent. That being said, I am grateful for your help.
I will always do whatever I can to help, even when you don't ask for it.
The others, they speak to their keepers of the changing time. Much of their memories are lost. We should not be changing eldlings till we can better ourselves. But we should not walk on the land. We should not get stuck in rivers. We should not need help. Different times.
You are all growing stronger, day by day.
I do not grow stronger. I should. And then he sort of spreads his paw, claw, foot, I don't know, in front of you. What do you call a dragon? Is it a foot? I feel like I've asked this question before. No, it has claws, but we'll call it a foot. Okay.
It's a foot.
He spreads his foot in front of you, and you'll see that the claws are soft and slightly cracked. The water has done all manner of hell on them. He spreads his wings lightly, and you'll see it's almost translucent. The skin is so thin. These times in the cold and the wet, on scant food, we are not growing stronger, but we go to a place where we can. And if I get there, it will be because of you, human. Natani. You will not share it with others, but my name is Azanth.
Oh.
Thank you for trusting me.
I must. You are my best chance. Thanks, music. Let me just stop. It was like a moment there, and then it wasn't. Like just gone.
You are my best.
Enough of that.
Silence.
Next, let's go on a sea adventure. Yes, he sort of leans his head down, and you get the impression from the gesture that it's not submissiveness, but it's like he makes himself vulnerable before you as he lays his head almost down to the ground in front of you. Would you check once more for those snakes? We called them burrowing worms.
Absolutely.
Back in the life of my forefathers. I think they were more dangerous then, but dragons were not their prey. Unless we were stuck in water for a long period of time. A dragon cannot take flight from the water, you see. And if we land in water, we must sink to the bottom and walk out. One of my ancestors was stuck in a flood once, for almost 4 days. And they were most scared. Memories of fear are few in my past. Water is not for dragons, and dragons are not for water. Excuse me.
No.
Alice just sort of, Natani? Oh, and she
Yeah?
waits a moment for you to finish what you were saying. Because I didn't mean to interrupt you. So please, finish what you were going to say and then she'll come over.
Have you? I mean, I know Rapscal and what they've been doing is a little,
I am not flapping for your pleasure.
no. I know. I wouldn't expect that. Have you... How do you feel about gliding?
There's a long silence, and very quietly failed once.
And does failure mean you never try again?
have our pride. And, you can see, like, the dragon is struggling with the concept of, like, undragon things, right? And eventually, sort of, when it is warm.
It just might be a little less muddy.
Natani? Sorry. No, it's for your dragon, actually. This is from Leftrin. He has some for sealing the wood, I think, he said. Or something. The other keepers have all used some, but you were over here, separate. It's wood lacquer, but Leftrin thinks it might help the dragon's claws. Some of them are complaining of cracks in the wood and softening in the water.
Yes. Thank you, that is perfect.
And Azan sort of, a good smell. Thank you. Nods to you as if to say, I said thank you. And then,
I just give a sort of hidden just thumbs up.
In the day of my ancestors, this was called wormwood oil, and it was used for dragon's claws to make them shine and gleam. Elise sort of looks astounded, and you remember your forefathers' memories? As all dragons should, though some less than others. My memories are not complete, but they are there. And he will sort of direct you to apply it to his claws. And as you all sharpen the claws of your dragons and sit around the fire and getting some food after the dragons have eaten, all grouping together, we have finished episode 5. We'll move on to episode 6 in a short while. We'll take a quick break.